channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys the Nars Klein palette, give you my thoughts on it. I actually do a demo for you on how I applied the Laguna bronzer, one of the blushes, and then the highlight powder. So I'll just give you my general thoughts on it and my experience, and I will also link down below any makeup tutorials that I use this in. Now before we get started, I do want to mention the makeup that I'm wearing. So recently I put up a MAC collection video for you guys. It's the Magic of the Night collection. I showed you guys a makeup tutorial and review, and one of the lipsticks that I mentioned from that collection was this one, which is Evening Rendezvous. It's a matte purple lipstick, and it's what I'm wearing today in this video. And when I swatched it, I wasn't really that excited about it, but now that I have it on my lips, I really like it. The formula feels nice on my lips. It's a matte finish. But yeah, so if you can get your hands on this, I would recommend it. It's a really great color for fall, and if you're gonna want to try to move into purples, or you want to have a purple that's more wearable, I think this one is a good one to pick. Also, one of my favorite palettes of all time, if not my favorite, is the Too Faced Stardust palette. So I'm wearing that today on my eyes. I have Millennial in the crease in the lower lash line. I have Chandelier on the brow bone and the inner corner. And I have Selfie on the lid, and then Jackpot on the outer corner. I just wanted to share that with you guys just in case you were wondering if I was still using this, and I've been trying to mix it in with all the other palettes that I've been trying out. So I wanted to try this out again today, and once again I put together a look that I love, and I really like the formula and consistency of it. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. So first we're going to go over the Nars Klein palette. I really like this palette a lot. I've gotten one Nars palette in the past, a holiday palette, but this one I really like a lot better, just because in that palette I think all I used was the blushes. But this palette, I love all the blushes, I love the highlight powder and the bronzer. The only thing that I haven't used is this contour powder, just because I think it's a little bit too dark for my skin tone. Laguna, it kind of looks like it'd be too dark for my skin tone, but I think it's fine. I think once you blend it in, it's really not as dark as it looks in the pan, so I really like it on my skin. And then there's this great selection of blushes, so I feel like at least one blush will be amazing on someone. So this is a really dark blush, which I think would be really good on people with darker skin tones. Then you have this baby pink blush, which would be great on people who are super fair. And then you got this peachier tone, and then, you know, kind of like this standard basic pink tone. And what I love about this palette is the fact that I can do pretty much all of my face powders just with this palette. So I got my highlighter to highlight my under eye concealer. I have my bronzer to contour with or just to bronze with, and then I have a blush. The only other powder that I would use on my face would be the highlighter. So that would have been great. I wish they would have switched out this contour powder with a highlight powder, and then literally I would have all of my cheek stuff right here. But you know what? Sometimes I use my eyeshadows as highlighters, so if I wanted to take, like I said before, the Stardust palette, I could have this one on the go to have all of my eyeshadows, including the Selfie eyeshadow, which I like to use as a highlight, and then this palette. So if you're traveling and you want to take your things that you really like, and that you can also condense down, so you're not taking like all of your makeup. You're like, okay, well I have this awesome eye palette, which I can create a bunch of looks with, and also have a highlighter in, and then I have this cheek palette, which I can do all my cheek powders with. So then all you would need is like a foundation and concealer. Alright, now let's jump into the shades of this palette. So this one is called Paloma 1, Paloma 2, and then Laguna. And then for the blushes, we have this color called Robotic, Blasphemy, Luster, and then Dolce Vita. So I have used Blasphemy a lot. I think that's my favorite of this palette. I think it's really nice. I tried out this Robotic shade yesterday, and I also thought it looked good on my skin tone. And then I tried out Dolce Vita as well. I haven't dug into the Luster one at all yet, just because I feel like it's just not my color. It's not something that I'm really drawn to, but it could work out really nicely for someone else. But I'll be doing swatches so you guys can see too what these look like. I also posted swatches on Instagram, so if you guys are ever wondering about products like this, you can always check on Instagram, because I'll probably have swatches up on Instagram before I have a video up. But just to let you guys know that. But I'm also going to be swatching these for you today, so you guys can see what colors would be great for you, and if this palette would be a good fit for your skin tone. Okay, so now we have the swatches. So here we have Paloma 1, which you probably can't even see because it really blends in with my skin tone. And then we have Paloma 2, and then Laguna. So as you can see, Laguna is a little bit lighter than Palamo 2, and Palamo 2 also has like a reddish undertone to it, so just keep that in mind whenever you're picking out your bronzer. But I really like Laguna with my skin tone. I have a pretty fair skin tone, not the fairest of them all, but pretty fair. And then we have Robotic, Blasphemy, Luster, and Dolce Vita. Now in this video I did want to do a demo of this palette for you guys, so I'm going to insert that now. So we're just going to get started. So first I am going to do the blush. I like doing the blush first. So I'm going to do, how about I do Luster? Because I haven't used Luster yet, you guys can see how Luster looks on my skin tone. I absolutely love Blasphemy on my skin tone. I like Dolce Vita, but you have to be a little bit I have to be a little bit careful because it's a little dark, and I really do like Robotic. So let's just see. Let's test it out, Luster, even though it scares me. Just because it's more of like a peachy tone. It's not like as like your basic pink. But yeah, let's try that. So I'm just going to spread this on my cheek, and as you can see, it's really pigmented. So a little bit goes a long way. Okay. So I'm just spreading this on with my MAC 168 brush. And then what I always love to do is use my Sigma F55 brush, and this just helps blend it out and air it out, and it really helps too if you accidentally like overdo your blush, like if you put too much on, it'll help air it out so it's not as, you know, harsh. So I really like this brush for that. I always use this brush whenever I'm doing blush. Okay, so now we're going to go in with this highlight shade right here, Palamo 1, and we're going to put that underneath our eyes. I'm going to be going in with the F55, or no, totally lied to you, the F35 brush from Sigma. I really like this brush to set my under eye concealer and then also to put on a highlight. But a lot of the time lately I've been just using my fingers. It kind of just depends on, you know, if I'm using an eyeshadow for a highlight or usually ColourPop eyeshadows, I use my fingers. Anastasia, their illuminators, I've used the brush that comes with it. Okay. And then we'll just do a little bit in the center of our forehead, down our nose, chin, or our hair or mustache. So we got the center covered. And by doing the blush first, it's nice because if you add on too much blush too, you can put your under eye concealer on top and it helps blend it in together, like between here and the blush. So that's just like another tip. A lot of times I was doing the highlighter first and then I would do the blush, then I would end up going back in with the highlight shade underneath my eye and realize that why don't you just do it the other way around so you don't have to go back in again. So that's just another tip. Alright, now we're going to go in with the bronzer. So we're going to be using this Laguna bronzer. And then I'm going to be using my Nars Eda brush to place it. So we're going to start on the cheekbones. Kind of goes right underneath the blush. Underneath the jaw. Alright, now as always I'm going to be going in with the e.l.f. Small Stipple brush, and we're just going to use that to blend out the contour. I really love this brush. If you guys have been watching me for a while, I have mentioned this before, so sorry if I'm repetitive, but for anybody who's new to my channel, I really like using this brush to blend out my contour because it's stiff enough that, you know, it does a good job of blending out, but it also gives that airbrush effect because it is a stippling brush. The F55 is just a little bit too fluffy. I like that more for my blush, but this does has the same kind of idea of that, except I just use it for bronzer and contouring. Okay, so that is how this palette, or at least some of the colors, look on my face. So I hope you found that helpful. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. But I do want to mention that these are like high quality products. I wouldn't say they blew my mind with how great that they are. I definitely think it's worth the price, especially because you're getting so many great colors all in one palette, and you're getting, you know, a bronzer, a highlighter, and a ton of blush shades in one palette. So I think that's what makes it great. It comes with a great mirror, which is like, you know, big, it's nice, and you can sit it up too. It doesn't have to lean back. You can kind of adjust it too. I mean, that's so simple. Like, so like you wouldn't even think about that, but if you're going anywhere, you can adjust it and it will hold itself up, the mirror. So that's really nice too for traveling. But yeah, and I really like how the Laguna bronzer looks on my face. You never know with bronzers if they're going to be too dark, too red, or whatnot. So I really, really like this palette, guys. I highly recommend it. It's definitely my favorite Nars palette that has come out. Some of the other ones I skipped on, but this one I'm really excited about. So definitely go get this if you can get your hands on it, especially if you think you have a similar skin tone to me, or even if you have a little bit darker of a skin tone, you may be able to get away with this contour powder as opposed to this Laguna bronzer. And if you're someone especially who likes a lighter highlight, you know, maybe it'll still work for your darker skin tone. But definitely if you have my skin tone, I would recommend it. And I did check on Sephora's website, so the last time that I checked it, it was still available. So I will make sure to update the description box if for any reason it's not available anymore for you guys. Or I'll insert something in the video if I find out later that's not available. But I'm really going to try to get this up as soon as possible so that way it is available. And I know the Sephora VIB Rouge sale is coming up on the 13th, so I want to get this video up before then. Alright, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you found it helpful. Hopefully this is still available by the time I put this up. I'm so worried I'm going to post this in like 2 minutes later. It's going to sell out. But I guess we will see. If you guys have tried this out yourself, please let me know what you guys think about it and if it fits your skin tone. That would be great and really helpful, especially if you list like what your skin tone is so that people know. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button below. Like this video if you did like it, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye! So I'm going... Oh my god, I'm getting this all over myself.